What effect is the current crisis having on the way that people connect with advertising? Well, our data suggests that overall there's very little change in the way that people are responding to ads. But what we are seeing at the fringes are some interesting patterns. Ads which have characters repeatedly used across the campaign, so that are well established, what I call a fluent device, are holding up very well, as too are the sort of fluent device scenario that I've described in the past. That's a scenario like "you're not you when you're hungry" for Snickers, that's repeatedly used again and again. What these two things do, characters and scenarios, is enable you to sort of exist in a slightly parallel world, one that isn't connected to the events of today. The other thing that works very well is advertising with betweenness or connection, showing the relationship, the implicit glances between people as they're performing and acting out a role. Other things that seem to be working well and holding up are ads where you've got reference to local community or place. These things are going to be increasingly important over the next few months, I suspect. And then also advertising which is set in the past. So this enables you to sort of play out things that you can't do in today's context, to show people in groups, perhaps, or even play with humour. These sorts of things are much more easily done, if you like, when you're looking at things in a historical context. So those are the sorts of things that are working well. What isn't working so well today? Well, advertising that's very direct, that talks about price and promotions, that's not working terribly well at the moment, not connecting as well as it did a few months ago before the crisis. And you're also finding that advertising that relies very much on words on the screen, or advertising that's very rhythmic, is not performing too well either. Advertising that plays to vanity or self-image, that's not performing so well. Advertising that's aggressive or competitive, that's sort of about performance or control, those sorts of things, not performing quite so well as they did either. So these are some of the things that aren't doing so well. And so over the next few months, as this crisis plays out, it's as well to think about those things that are performing well in new campaigns, or campaigns that perhaps you have already in your locker, because these sorts of things will be the things that stand you in good stead as we come out of this crisis.